All right, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Mawad coming to you again out in the highway and the byway, bringing out this gospel, this edification, this truth to the hopefully elect of Yasharala, Israel, so-called blacks, the Americans, Latinos, and the speckled birds across the earth. The 1 to 2/3 of our people that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah is judging Great Babylon, America, and this earth, but in particular here, Great Babylon, America. And it's always a pleasure that Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, you Caucasians, you crackers, the devil that the Bible speaks of, no, time is almost up. Time is almost up. Before we get started, let's turn to the east. Give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to teachers, elders, and apostles of great millstone, likewise, brothers, spin of the truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep and to brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. Now we know this is what, 4th of July. Okay, which a lot of brothers like to term July, 4th of July, okay? And for you Jakes out there that are celebrating this, which out here in El Paso, which is predominantly Hispanic and Latinos, okay, probably I think about 95% of the population, last night, basically starting from, 1800 hours, all the way up until about 2 o'clock in the morning, pop, fireworks. And you go outside, driving through the streets, okay, and all you see is the remnant, okay, of the jolly good time that they had, all the debris on the ground and, from those fireworks and stuff. And guess what? They're not going to clean it up. They think somebody else is going to come and clean it up. And this is the ignorance and arrogance of the people here in Great Babylon, America, always looking for an opportunity to indulge in bullshit. It's aggravating. And we pray to the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, constantly to take the mirth and the spirit of these people, to really give them something to be depressed about. Because it's irking to just see how ignorant and stupid our people are, not understanding, okay, that this man right now is plotting to kill you, okay? This man is wicked. Let's go into the scriptures here because here they are, they're celebrating 250 years, okay, which in reality, okay, the so-called white man empire, when you're talking about Great Babylon, America, it's older than 250 years. That's when these crackers actually fought each other. They signed some paperwork called Declaration of Independence, and well, that amounts to 250 years. But let's talk about the 150 years before that. During the transatlantic slave, when they first went over to Africa and got us, particularly the Negroes, and brought us over here. Basically, when the so-called white man first landed here out on what they call the New World, it's basically when his empire started. So, because some people would argue and say, well, that 250-year theory of when empire is falling is not so, because you had other empires that went beyond that, and that could be true, and that's true. But then when you actually do a roll the clock back and see when Esau really conquered over here, it really started from when the conquistadors pulled up down there in South America, okay, and that's when they brought death, because the so-called white man is death. And when they pulled up here, and they brought death here, disease, okay, betrayal of the children of Israel, in particular the tribe of Gad, okay, that's basically when they started their rulership. So it's older than 250 years, all right? So if that's the case, then you crackers got a lot to worry about, because now you're more like in the 400 years, way overdue to be overthrown. And who's going to overthrow you? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to send his only begotten Son, the Mashiach, our King, our Savior, our Messiah, to overthrow your monkey ass, okay? We're just a herald to let you know that your end is near. This is Ecclesiastes 8, in start verse 11, it reads, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully setting them to do evil. These Edomites are not judged like the rest of us. The so-called white man, he's not in trouble like the rest of us. Why? The money, his face is on it. He controls the oil, all the resources, the food, the factories, the R&Ds, every doggone thing. And even if you build something, he comes and he takes it. He has bases set up all across this earth. Okay, embassies. spying, manipulating, okay, tribes. And right here in Great Babylon, America, okay, the Lord's chosen people are stuck behind enemy line. And what the evil works that he has done, I've shown you this poster over and over and over. Buck breaking, okay, hangings, okay. What else? Here it is right here. Take a look at it. Okay, this is biblical. Okay, whether people want to believe it or not, because they try to look at it and go, oh, you guys are just a bunch of racist guys that just can't seem to forget things. Why in the hell would I want to fucking forget what the fuck you did to my damn people? What kind of weak ass spirit is that? Huh? And a nigga talking that shit or a spick talking that shit, don't come to fuck around me, man. Alright? I don't hear that shit. It says, though a sinner do an evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it should be well with them that fear power, which fear before him. Okay? So the Lord allowed this man to go do what he's going to do, because at the end of the day, what you have to understand is that Esau, okay, he works for the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai on the left side. Okay? He works for him on the left side. Keep in mind that Esau's blessing was what? The fatness of the earth. Okay? The dude that had the fatness of the earth, and he would live by the sword. And that's exactly how he's doing it. What other tribe on this earth that you know is living by the sword? It ain't the Moabites. They're concerned about setting up, you know, factories and restaurants and stuff like that and making money. The Arabs certainly ain't the one. They want to sell their oil. The Africans, they don't give a frick. They don't give a crap. Okay? People are looking, these other tribes are kind of looking, they're looking more for prosperity. Okay? Kind of like when with that parable with Lazarus and the rich man, okay, when you talk about the dogs came and licked Lazarus' wounds, okay? Basically, dogs are opportunists. They say dogs are man's best friend. Yeah, that could be, that's not really the case, because a dog really don't have no real true loyalty. Trust me, you can walk up to anybody's dog, feed it, and it will keep following you as long as you feed it. It doesn't have any true loyalty. That's why you can look and see so many pets are missing. They run away because they probably, you know, wandered and then they got fed by somebody and then followed. Next thing you know, they can't find their way back home because they were house animals. All right. But a dog is not loyal. It follows, or it will deal with whoever is going to feed it. Hence, these other tribes, they will follow whoever is going to feed it. This is the reason why when we say Esau, these Edomites are cave dwellers, okay, former cave dwellers, Unga Bungas, didn't bathe, nasty, filthy, the basis of man. Okay, why the hell you bow down to them? They look and go, well, what do y'all have? What do y'all have for us to bow down to you? And especially the fact that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai pick what? He picked the things that people despise the most. He picked men that are not in high position on this earth. There's none of us that was a mayor or a governor or a state governor, or any of us was a president. There's none of us that was a CEO of a large conglomerate organization. We're not featured in Time magazine, okay, or Fortune magazine or anything like that. Okay, we're not known for billions of dollars. You know, what we are is we are from the tribe of Israel. Okay, and the Lord raised up men that people would often look at and despise. When people drive past me here in El Paso, I make up less than 1% of the population here. Okay, or so-called blacks make up less than 1% of the population here. So it's easy for everybody to drive by, these Hispanic and Latinos, you know, so proud of themselves because they're not intermingled with these other tribes, in particular the so-called white people, where they experience, you know, hostility and racism compared to like the Latinos and Hispanics that are out there in California, where they have to engage with so-called white people and experiencing that kind of that obvious racism. Out here, everybody's kind of, they look alike, speak broken Spanish and English, whatever the case like that. And somehow they get along, and they also fight amongst each other. So their enemies really each other. Okay? But why is it that None of them are really stopping by to really kind of say, well, what is going on up there? Because again, they themselves think that they're superior to someone like me. Okay? Just based on the fact that this doggone cracker called freaking doggone people like me black. When clearly my beard is salt and pepper kind of. This t-shirt I have here is black. Take a look at my doggone skin. You know, and I'm not even going to waste time to try to educate anyone on that, because obviously, brothers and sisters that are in the truth and follow us, you already know. The Lord has opened your eyes up, okay, to what is what. It says, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before power. So-called white man don't fear God. Now, you can imagine, most Jakes kind of grew up in grew up in a household where there was some form of, you know, righteousness. You know, you go to church, or you hear your mother, even a single mother household, they talk about Jesus or whatever the case is like that. And even no matter how wicked Jake is, somewhere in the back of their mind, they know there's a higher power. They know, right? And the image probably in their head is probably the white man deity image, which, you know, Jesus Christ is not a doggone deity. He's a make-believe, okay? He's a make-believe deity. He's not real. He ain't got no power. The only power that image of Jesus has, is the fact that Caesar Borgia posed for that picture, okay? And they hang it up every doggone where. That's it. There's no power there. The true power is when you could call on the Lord's true name, which is the ancient Paleo Hebrew, okay, which is Yahweh for the Most High, Yahweh Shai for the Son, okay. And that's why we always open up and give all glory unto Yahweh Shai Shai, the Son and the Father, Yahweh Shai, okay, before we move at anything, okay. Because this spirit isn't something that I drummed up or went to school for or studied or other cases like that. I didn't know how to read a damn scripture or what it meant, okay, until I saw the man of the Lord, Yahweh Shai, put in place and gave the spirit to teach. And I had to learn, okay, painstakingly learn, take notes, okay. I had like stacks of these stuff, but doggone notebooks I had for years before I even step out in the street. And I'm still taking notes, because it's always a constant learning process, all right. But we see in here right now, what is it saying? Despite the fact that Esau might look like he's winning. When I walked in the grocery store yesterday, after I got done running, you know, me and wife, we went to the grocery store, and I was like shocked at how stocked the shelves were. And I'm talking like in the meat section. Now, if you weren't following what's going on and you didn't know any better, which is what you see what's happening with these other people out there, you would get caught up and believe like, what the hell? I thought we were supposed to be going into a famine. I thought there was a shortage. But keep in mind how this man works. When there's going to be a holiday, something like this, or anything that's going to get people off their game, you know, when they feel like a lot of people might be listening to us or kind of like questioning, okay, the longevity of Great Babylon America, okay, or the rulership, okay, of the wicked that are in power right now. You know, they flood the grocery stores with food. They may even lower the gas price down, you know, so you can go have a jolly good time on the weekend. They're celebrating for the doggone July. But that's not the reality of it, because we can go into the scripture and it says, suddenly should the shelves and be found empty. Okay, the store shelves and found empty. Roughly paraphrasing. Okay. And then it goes into the fact that people are going to turn on each other. Okay? So it's going to be suddenly. It's not going to be, oh, well, you see next week there's not going to be any food, where they can tell you like, oh, yeah, there ain't going to be no food next week. No, it's going to be very sudden. And that's how the Lord is going to drop this on these people. Caught completely off guard while they're in their doggone jolly spirit. All right? So this man has a finite time to rule in wickedness. And even though, when you take a look at it, kind of almost like when you're watching a movie, you know, the good guys always seem to be like in a losing state, because the bad guys always is like 1-2 steps ahead, okay? And then there's going to be a climatic clash and then voila, you know, goodness always trump over evil. And that Kamada Cash is going to be, okay, especially when they come after the elect, okay, Yahushua is not going to stand for that. And he's going to pop open that sky, okay, and bring a dramatic conclusion to Esau's empire. In fact, let's go to Ecclesiasticus 10 and start at verse 8. It reads, because of unrighteousness, dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Okay? So, what kingdom is translated? Okay? Right now, the rulership is under the wicked. And it said, it put key words here. It said, unrighteous dealings. Okay? Dealings is basically, you know, let's make a deal. So, what is that? When we're making a deal, basically, it should be impartial. It should be, okay, transparent. It should be to where I'm going to benefit and you're going to benefit. But in the case with Esau, okay, he always benefits. Nobody else benefits. Okay? And they talk about Trump and how he got like $1 billion. He made $1 billion during this Iran, you know, Strait of Hormuz lockdown and all that stuff, and how his portfolio increased by $1 billion and all this other shit like that. Because of course, his people are investing in oil. If you have the ability to send ships out there, do a blockade, stop the oil flow, stop the goods flow, and then everything goes up, all of the price of shit goes up, okay? The oil exchange or the oil price goes up, and you have investment in that, then you're gonna make some money. Then you let it go down, you buy again, and it goes, and you keep doing the same thing over and over. We see that yo-yo way. And like I said, with you doggone Edomites, okay, you low-level Edomites, y'all are sitting down and doing absolutely nothing about anything. And the Lord has got y'all stupid like that, in a dorsal state, somewhat like when we were on the plantation. Okay, you couldn't understand how the hell you have 100 jakes on a plantation doing hard labor work. You had even the kids stronger than the plantation owners, who might have been a family of 4 or 5 or 6 people. Even if they had guns, okay, or musket, whatever they had back in the day, there was an overwhelming amount of jakes to overcome them and take them out. They might have taken out some, but you know, it ain't like they had automatic weapons like of today. So why didn't jakes them do it? And that's because the Lord Yahweh Shai had put a spirit on us to serve out our sentence with chains around our neck and our ankles. Okay? So mentally, we can, I mean, some of us did. We tried to, you know, do some rebellion and all that stuff, and it came to naught. Okay? But at the end of the day, most sheikhs were very comfortable serving their master. Okay? Very comfortable. Same thing with the Edomites today. Why aren't they getting up and doing something about what's taking place? Because they're being impacted and infected. We see them crying on YouTube and Instagram and all those things. Why aren't they doing anything about it? Because the Lord has put that spirit of stupid in them, so that they would sit back and just watch their kingdom fall. And when the time comes, He's gonna make them rise up and really finish off destroying their kingdom. When you go into a second Esdras, you can see where they have no type of respect for their rulers, and they're using the sword to go and battle each other and even going up against their government, which of course is going to destroy whatever little bit of infrastructure that's left. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's not going to work out. But Esau does not deal fairly. Injuries, that could be economical injury to other societies, okay, and in particular with us, okay, then we serve you in slavery and you're supposed to be emancipated us. So why in the hell you have to go burn down Black Wall Street? Why in the hell you have to go burn down or constantly, okay, taken away from Jake? If you drive around in a decent car, the cop will go, wow, this is a nice car, where'd you get it? What the fuck you mean, where the fuck did I get it? You don't think I can work for it and save? And and I'm not talking about me, but I'm talking about like how Jakes are being profiled in general. Like in reality, they really want you to be destitute, constantly have your head hanging down, smell like shit on the sidewalk so they can feel proud of it themselves. And now, they themselves are now sitting on the sidewalk in these, living in out their vehicles, and are in these doggone broken down, Winnebagos on the side of the road, and to make and to throw acid on flesh. The Lord put the spirit in these mayors and these governors to make homelessness illegal. At a time when now you have these Edomites don't have a pot to piss in, and now they're facing detrimental changes in their lifestyle. Now their own government is saying, you know what, you can't sleep in your car and park it on the side of the street or in this park or whatever case like that. We're gonna fine you and we're gonna tow your shit. Imagine that. That's unrighteous dealings, man. Yeah, we know it's impacting the Edomites. It's also impacting Jakes too, because of who most likely is going to be, in the streets before these Edomites. It's going to be us. Okay, riches go by the seat. Riches go by the seat. You think they're in the Amazon, and you think they're in these forests and going to these indigenous people, with National Geographic and filming how they live? No. What they're looking at is how these people could live so doggone long and look healthy and be strong with no so-called modern day medicine, and they realize the little pains on their body isn't just some symbol of shit. Those are medicine. They realize the little things that they're mixing up in a coconut bark or in some, makeshift cup made out of a chipped out rock or something like that, or wood. That's medicine. Okay? And so they take those and they reverse engineer those, they spice them up, they synthesize them, and they put out shit out there like that. We saw what they did with, I can't remember what the lady name was, I think it was in the 50s, if I recall, who they took her blood, and her blood, they discovered the platelets had the healing, basically had the ability to heal, and they made a lot of medicine out of it. All right, but again, with some, clever marketing and some, rubber stamp and all that stuff that they put their face and their name to every doggone thing. In the meantime, they convince the world that the people who are the brightest, smartest, most righteous people, okay, most talented, gifted, strongest people on this earth, they ain't shit. And that's us. That's us. But they're real mad now because guess what? We now awake. Come on. What you think? You think we're gonna be asleep forever? Okay? We are now awake. And this is now scaring them. Let's go to Revelation 11 and 11. It says, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from power entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them. We saw them. Okay? That fear is on them right now. Imagine you were able to manipulate a set of people who only knew how to do jive and jump around and all that stuff. And now you have a set of men that are not seeking riches or wealth. If you have something, to wadi bashim al-shai bashim kakadash for it. Okay, if you have a little, to wadi bashim al-shai bashim kakadash for it. Okay, if you have a whole lot, etc., etc., etc. You have health, still alive, you thank the Lord, Yahweh Shmi al-Shai. And we are not looking, okay, for fame and fortune. We ain't marching down those streets. And I'm talking, I'm talking here. I'm only talking about the men, okay, that have the likewise spirit on them. Okay? That have the likewise spirit on them. Whether you're a part of a giant, a big camp, or you solo, makes no difference. You have that spirit on you, okay? And you're not engaging in the folly that you see these men that are looking to get some type of recognition, for the world to accept them, for the world to congratulate them. Fuck that shit. What are you looking for that? If that's the spirit you have on you, then you ain't right. All right? If you're looking for man worship, you ain't right. Okay? I'm feeling rain here. Damn it. I think I'm feeling kind of a rain here. Lord willing, it holds off or it doesn't rain that hard. So here we are. Not only did we stand up on our feet, but the Lord, that spirit that wake up wasn't only about just, I know I'm a Hebrew Israelite. No. He woke up man who he had already chosen and ordained to bring out this word, okay, to teach other men who would teach other men and teach other men and so forth and so forth and so forth, okay? It's more than you just knowing that you're a Hebrew Israelite, okay? If you're given the ability to understand this, then why don't you, then you should be out there, okay, what does the scripture say? The labor is a lot, the work is a lot, but the labor is few, something like that, right? Meaning what? Don't just sit on your ass, man. Okay? Don't just sit on your ass. You get out there. You get them laughing at you, mocking at you. The bugs dropping on you, biting you. Dust up in your face. When it rains out here, it doesn't rain. It actually rains mud. It sucks. Because I just watched my vehicles and now they're gonna be all muddy. You know. Ain't no rest, man. Just things that wax you constantly. You know. You're constantly in a waxing state here in Great Babylon, America. But it is what it is. You know. And you just keep moving. But so we know right now there's going to be basically a changeover where the righteous is going to be rulership. And a lot of our people don't like this. The biggest thing that you have the Hebrew Israelites, okay, and I'm talking about Hebrew Israelites in general. I'm not talking about the 130 elected believers. The one thing that they really hate is the fact that we are preaching separation. That there is a separation. I mean, the scripture said itself, can two walk together except they agree? They can't. We can't walk with Esau. How many Jakes broke his hell right now, went out this weekend and spend money that they didn't have buying bullshit? Fireworks. Can you eat that shit? That makes no sense. Hundreds of dollars on dumb fireworks to shoot that shit up in the air. For what? Okay? How many of them went out there and will spend all that money for that foolishness? Or when they will have the 4th of July dinner, expensive, stupid dinner? Huh? Never once thinking about the reason why you are alive is because the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, wants you to be alive. That you can even breathe. They're proud. Okay, have fun this weekend, and then on Monday, they're going to go back to their plantation, to their job, okay, and they can talk about it at the desk or at the water fountain or while they're getting a coffee, okay? But then you know, it could be a couple weeks, a couple months, or even a year. Same person might be getting the pink slip. Now they're distressed. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Okay? And that's because they don't think about the fact that knowing that you're a Hebrew Israelite, following the laws to the best of your ability, which is simple, the food, the dietary law, you know, don't commit adultery, those things like that. Giving glory and honor to Yahweh Shema Shai, knowing the name. We're going to need to know the name. Okay? Separating yourself from this world, man. Obviously, you know, you can have some family members and people you may have to go around or whatever the case is like that for whatever reason. Okay. But at the same time too, you have to cleverly walk amongst them. You know, they'll offer you food that's abominable. You know, you might say something about, well, you're supposed to eat that, which we know that's going to just turn into a debate. So to avoid debate, just simply say, you know, your doctor says that you can't eat this and you can't eat that because of this and because of that. And that shuts them up right away. Because see, if you say the scripture said that, when you go into the book of Leviticus that gave us the dietary laws, okay, he didn't mean that. That was a long time ago. That don't work for that's not for us today. They don't regard the law of the Lord. But if you say, oh well, I went to my doctor and my doctor said I can't eat shellfish and I can't eat this and that because this causes this and that. Oh, okay, they understand that and they accept that. Think about that. They would accept what a man says, okay, who gave you the rule and said, you can't eat that because if you eat that, this is what's going to happen. Versus if the scripture that says, if you eat this is unclean for you, there could be consequences. You see that? They value man more than they value the laws of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right? Because there's no truth in it. All right? Let's go into it's Salakia here because it is raining a little bit here. I'm under the street, which is blocking a lot of it, which is good. So I'm going to stay here as long as I can, okay? But I'm hoping to get at least 20 more minutes. You know, I don't want the camera to be that too short, but you know, we're in that situation. I mean, I could go in a vehicle, but we're good for now. Let's go into let's go to Job 20. I want to talk about this place for a second. Seeing that we're in the festival weekend of Great Babylon America. This is Job 20, and starting with verse 22. This is Job 20, starting with verse 22. It reads, In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Now we were just talking about what? We were just talking about the fact that these Edomites, okay, these low-level Edomites are catching hell. And the thing about it is that the Lord is building that anger in them slowly so that when they do chimp out, as the word is chimp out, okay, it's going to be in such a way that they're going to react and act grievously before they really think of the consequences of that fact that when they get out there and they start marching down the street and shooting at things and things that sound to go crazy and they start robbing each other, you know, that right now, basically, there's not going to be any rebuilding. There's not going to be any rebuilding. Because at that stage, they're going to be in the, you know, we know that this man is going to break things down to the point to where the option is going to be a global welfare. And this is coming from Yahweh Shema himself, a global welfare. Okay, when we go to Revelation 13, you know, 16 stands for 16. We can see how this is going to become a law, a mandate thing, that if you don't follow it or you don't be a part of it, you better have really good survival skills. And eventually, because leading up to that, there's going to be so much turmoil and tribulation, they're going to be changing the laws and how they engage. The cops are no longer going to be saying, freeze, this is the police. They're just going to shoot you down, just right there and then. Okay, think of RoboCop. If you watch the first RoboCop from the 80s, you know, and I think the city that they was dealing with was Detroit. Okay, and you can see how it was. Okay, RoboCop shot before, he said freeze and he just shot. So you're going to see the rules are going to change, and Trump has made reference to it, to where they just can shoot you right there and then, because there's going to be so much chaos and so much crap going on, and especially when they bring out this MOTB, which you can have a lot of people not agreeing with it, and this is going to be global. A lot of these countries are going to say, what the hell, man? We had our own oil, our own export, and now here we are, because the Americans, you Americans, want to set up your military across key strategic points on this earth where the flow of goods, okay, go through, and then you block it to get your way, okay? And now all the economies of this earth is collapsed, and now we have to go through this doggone, digital way of doing things, meaning you have to get the mark, okay, in your palm of your hands, all those things like that. It's not going to fly with everybody, okay? People are not going to deal with it. It says, and the poor is going to come rise up against it when he's about to fill his belly. Power shall cast a fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he's eating, okay? While he's eating. Now, when you think about eating, you're enjoying something. You're enjoying that meal you might have cooked. You might be enjoying that meal somebody else have cooked. Imagine you're having dinner, you're eating, and then somebody comes to stick a gun in your face or punch you, or throw a punch at you. You're not prepared for it. It's going to be bad, because you want to enjoy your meal. So you saw them, these elites, when they have things and have everybody down in subjection, which is going to be a horrible time. But in the meantime, they're exempt from their own wickedness. Because they could be enjoying good food, the freedom to go and come when they please, while everybody else is subjected. And I think here in America, FEMA has Great Babylon America divided into 10 different segments. And I actually have one of the maps that I show. Salakia, give me 1 second, you have to put this poster back in. Here, I had to put the poster back in because I had a poster out here. So, and I lost my train of thought. But anyways, let's continue to read and then it'll probably come back to me. Okay, it says, when he's about to fill his belly, power shall cast a fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain upon him while he's eating. Okay, it says he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. So it's not going to go that well. It's not going to go that well for Esau. When we say Esau, we're not talking about you doggone low-level Edomites. Because they're the one that's offended by this truth. Because at the end of the day, the greatest fear for you doggone retarded ass peasant crackers is you have someone like me is not looking at you as superior. And I'm weakly telling you that you are inferior. That you are the basis of man. You are from the caves. You are inferior. You are a disease. You are everything that's wrong with this earth, negatively, okay? And that the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, is going to put you all in horrible situations like he did with us, okay, pursuing the Deuteronomy 30 and 7, okay? So take a look at what happened to us. Everything that we worked for got taken away. Everything that we tried did not work, okay? We were picked up by the cops, beaten, incarcerated, hung from trees, beat down, whatever the case like that. And that's exactly what's going to happen to y'all. And it's going to happen before Great Babylon America is destroyed. You doggone Edomites, you regular so-called white people are about to experience a level of poverty that you can't even begin to comprehend. And nobody's going to feel sorry for you. Other whites are not going to feel sorry. So-called whites are not going to feel sorry for you. They're going to treat you like niggas. They're going to treat you like a criminal. Certainly, so-called black people are not going to feel sorry for you. Although you're going to have certain jakes that will align themselves with some of y'all because they're going to be trying to fight to get Great Babylon America back. So they're going to be joining y'all in hands in hands. But the Lord is still going to put the spirit in y'all to turn against these ignorant jakes. And we told you, jakes, never trust thine enemy. Okay? Why are you catering to an inferior being? The so-called Caucasians are inferior. Yeah, I said it. All right? And they don't like it. In the meantime, the elites, they know what we're saying is prophecy. And they're hiding and preparing. They're looking at their CERN, looking at their sorcery, trying to figure out if there's another way out of this. There is no way out of it. It is going to happen. Because the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, said so. Okay? It's already written. And we are seeing the prophecies coming to pass as it is right now. Okay? We ain't impressed by no full food store. Great. But we already know when it all goes down, you people are going to act like animals to go inside these supermarkets and kill each other to grab the last piece of corned beef or the last piece of steak or the last piece of pork chop, whatever the hell it is that y'all like. Alright? But again, like I said to you, regular everyday Edomites. Whatever title you have, director, manager, supervisor, foreman, whatever it is, blue collar, white collar, it doesn't matter. Okay? You're angry because for the first time in your life, you're hearing who you really are, who we really are. You can call it a cult all you want. It makes no difference. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. And the thing is that y'all are going to go jack with just any random so-called blacks, okay, or Latinos or Hispanic. Because y'all, the Lord is not going to allow y'all to get to us. You're not going to get us, okay? You regular Edomites, the Lord is going to allow you to go take your frustration out on the two-third jakes. Now, guess what? The two-third jakes, when they don't see a reason to behave, to obey the laws of the land, you're going to understand. It's going to be manifested to you on a personal level. Everything that was said about niggas, you are now going to understand. Boy, that was doggone true. Okay? And we know y'all are sharpening your knives and training in MMA and secret gyms and your guns and all that shit like that. Well, Jake's been doing that freaking doggone their entire life at each other. Okay? It's not going to be a straight up, we're going to just mow them down, shoot and kill them as you think. Not even remotely close. However, because there's a judgment against our people, two-thirds of our people, the Lord is going to allow, okay, two-thirds of our people to be cut down with the sword, okay, the famine, the beast of the field, okay, and that beast of the field can be various things. Just simply walking, a cobra can bite your ass, or a friggin' rattlesnake can bite your ass, or whatever the case is like that. You didn't even see it, okay? You know, those things are that. I mean, the Lord has his way how he's going to work judgment on each and every body. All right? But you wicked elites, okay, the Lord is going to come down heavy on you. Okay? When you try to make things happen. Okay? So let's talk about, let's go to second Ezra. I want to go to second Ezra. I know we're going to second address all the time, okay, but again, the Bible is repetitive. There's new listeners, and this is not for those of you who like, yeah, I heard that before, I don't want to hear it again. All right, good, don't. All right, this is second address 15 and verse 22. It reads, Second Ezra 15, start with 16, it reads. Let's actually go up a little bit further. It goes, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So why would the word woe? The first word in that sentence is woe to the world and them that dwell in. What is the world? The world is the people who are looking forward to a life here. And you're going to be disappointed. This is the reason why you see people are disappointed when they apply on Indeed. Oh, I sent a 50 resume. I sent a 100 resume this week. Got no answer back. Well, maybe you need to change your strategy. Because see, what people are looking for is a degree doesn't necessitate a good job. Okay? Trust me on that. All right? I had a degree when getting a bachelor's degree was a big deal. A master's degree was like, wow. That's how long ago I had a degree. Okay? Did you think I got a job right away with it? Hell no. I had to wind up doing the same, for a while I had to wind up doing the same mediocre shit I was doing. As I tried to step out there to go deal with, you know, the Edomites out there, so-called white people, you know, and I thought I had a piece of paper, I thought that was my ticket in the door. Hey, I got a degree, I should get a job, right? That wasn't the case. I didn't understand about having to deal with racism, stereotype, and all the other stuff. And that's a whole nother video. I don't even care about that, talk about that anymore. Obviously, you know, you overcome a lot of things and go through a lot of things to that, and that's a life lesson the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, put some of us through. Okay? So, there are those of us who've been through enough of that shit, okay, that grind out there. We know exactly what the end result is going to be. All right? But for us, the silver lining, as they like to say, is the fact that, A, all of it is going to come to an end. It was worth going through all of that to understand my enemy. I didn't know my enemy because I didn't know Esau was my enemy. Until I came to this ministry, I didn't know Esau was my enemy. I just thought, they just happens to have things. I didn't know they were my enemy. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people should stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Okay. Race war, you can say. Tribal war, we can call it. Okay. But we already know, our people don't get along with each other. We're still under the curses, Deuteronomy 28. And if the curses are coming, if you have simultaneously the curses of Deuteronomy 28 in gear, and then you also have Deuteronomy 30 and 7, which has already started and we can see it, simultaneously running concurrently. What you're seeing is what? Edomites are going to turn on each other the same way how Jakes turn on each other. And then you're going to have Edomites turning on Jake, Jake turning on Edomites. Okay? You see right now this thing of what took place with the Asians and the so-called blacks over the beauty salon or hair salon, and this is in regards to that chick that shot that Jake. So we already know there's already animosity, and that's gonna spill over. Okay. You got certain videos that went out there where these Edomites said out loud, you Hispanic and Latinos, we don't like you. Your best ally is the so-called Negroes. And they said that about the Asians. Your best ally is the so-called Negroes. We don't like any of you. You're going to have sellouts. Okay, those who's going to say, you know what? I know you don't like me, but I think I could be of use to you. If you could spare my life. And you can have a lot of doggone Jakes them begging, making deals to betray Jakes just so that they could live. Look, spare my life. It's like snitching. Like the DA, they'll throw so much charges on you, but you might be part of something, right? I don't know what. That could be a gang, or it could be part of whatever. And you might know something. So they go, okay, let's do a plea deal. You drop all the charges against me. Give me witness protection or give me something or whatever. or shorten my sentence, then I'll give you the leader of this person or that person, the person who's a short caller for who y'all trying to get and who y'all don't know. Okay? But that don't mean, and they might do it, but that don't mean that they think anything less of you, of a criminal. And they might do it for that particular one thing. I've seen it where they've done it for one thing and give you the deal, but they had another set of charges for something else from you that was not part of that deal, that then they give you that deal, but then they charge you on something else like that. So not only did they get what they wanted from you and legally and fulfill the bargain, but then now they can get you, because they really want your ass too. And they get you of something else unrelated. You see? He said, so there's going to be fighting. If there's fighting, there's going to be bloodshed. If there's going to be bloodshed, there's going to be death. If there's going to be death, that means what? You're going to have carcass all over the place and to talk about the fact that nobody's going to be burying anybody. Okay? It's going to stink. Think of what's going on in where is it? Venezuela right now with the earthquake. They already put out, 1,600 bodies. Okay? There could be tens of thousands more trapped. By the time they get to them, it's just rotten flesh or skeleton. Depends. Okay? Dead. For there should be sedition amongst men and raiding one another. They should not regard their kings or princes, and the course of their actions should stand in their power. I said it before and I say it again. And I might do an actual short video on it. The reason why these Edomites have not gone down Jakes yet, the reason why you don't see more Jakes hanging from trees, just random killing of so-called blacks, is because they do not want to go up against their government. However, it's going to get to a point where even the regular, and we're not even talking about your Nazi or KKK or whatever, even your regular Edomites, just straight out, going to chimp out, pull out their guns and just start going ballistic, crazy. And you're going to have Jakes who's going to be following suit too. And also you're going to have these other tribes that are going to be following suit. And that's when you're going to be aware of the hundreds of groups or thousands of these racist groups, particularly white men, or those that think that they're white men. Because I saw the video clip of them and I go, man, some of those look like Hispanics, man. But then again, Hispanics and Latinos think that a lot of them think that they're white because their skin are pale. Okay? That's when you're going to know that the warning was true when we was telling you that there's a lot of people plotting to come up against the children of Israel. Okay? And particularly the so-called Negro. Okay? People hate us. People hate people that look like me. A man should desire to go into a city and should not be able. You can't. It's going to be blocked off. You're going to have the military out here. You might have gangs that might have a particular part of the city that they're going to have for themselves. Okay, but mainly this is going to be like a military thing. Okay, laws. You're going to have what do they call those things? Curfews. Okay, especially certain districts. And you saw this during the pandemic. And even when they had those, what they call it, those fake vandalism during the pandemic, where they had Jakes and whoever else out there burning, a certain store down or a dealership, stealing the cars and stuff. And it came out that it was all scripted. But there was a part where certain Jakes them tried to go down to Rodero Avenue, which is Beverly Hills, out in Beverly Hills, and they stopped them. They said, no, this is not part of the script. Okay, because we have some of the most expensive jewelries and clothing out there, and that's beneath for these like celebrities and stuff like that. So they stopped them and said, no, this was not part of the script. They got serious and they said, no, this is not part of the script. You can go break into these other stores; those are part of the script. So they had already calculated that these store owners probably might have been going out of business, might agree like, you know what, I'm not doing well anyways business-wise. I'll have my store broken into, things stolen, all that stuff, filing insurance, you know, start something different. Okay, etc., etc. So something that was really planned out. But because of the pride that cities should be troubled, the houses should be destroyed, and men should be afraid, this is not going to be one of those things that is written an act. The next time you see this, it's going to be the real deal. It is going to be the real deal. Like they say, real deal, Holyfield. You buy the Holyfield? It's going to be the real deal. Men are going to be afraid. Why are you going to be afraid? If you had listened to the warning, you'd have been prepared. If you understand who controls all of this chaos, you would have been mentally prepared. What it says, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of the times. Who is in control of all the chaos? Yahweh Shemel Shai. He creates death, life, chaos, joy, famine, everything. So if you understood that, then you're not going to freak out and be afraid, so to speak. Obviously, we have a natural fear of Yahweh Shemel Shai. We're terrified of him. Okay? We're terrified of him and Yahweh Shai. We're terrified of him. But he assured us he's not going to hurt us. And that's the difference between us and you guys, is the fact that we can see some things that we may never have seen before. You've never seen piles of dead bodies. Or you've never seen birds or crows eating babies, especially here in America. You've never seen it. You've never seen people's bodies blown to pieces with roadside bombs and shit. All of those type of plagues are going to be coming over here. People sniping each other. You see someone stand up there and their head just birds explode into pieces. Some boy sniped them. People have not seen these. Even hardened service members who have been in deployment, especially if you're infantry and you've actually been in combat, you saw stuff like that over there. You expected that. But imagine your homeland now is a war zone. Houses burning day and night. Animals all over the place. Dead animals all over the place eating things. Pets eating people. Dead bodies burning. Cars piled up. People dying in their car from dehydration, starving, you know, or especially these old people. They can't get to their medication. People dying of heart attack because they can't get to their medication. The hospitals are cordoned off, or they can't get to the hospital. There's a shortage of doctors. Okay, people going there to go grab drugs. Okay, versus doggone medicine. You know, just all hell breaking loose. Okay? It says a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Great tribulation, trouble, man. Okay? Predator prey. People are going to eventually get tough. People are going to be acting. People are not going to be second guessing who's good or bad. They're just going to react immediately. Now, imagine, Jake, I want you to think about this. If this is going to be that horrible, and if people are already skittish of you walking past them, where they grab their personal clothes, or they just don't like the presence of you, or they don't like you around, period. They don't like you to eat in the same restaurant with them. How dare you come in this restaurant? This is for us. Even though you could afford it, they don't like you around. They don't want you in their neighborhood or their cul-de-sac, even though you could afford that nice house. Okay? They still have that animosity for you, but they hold back. Because right now, it's not politically correct to express yourself as a doggone savage. Okay? When I say savage, a savage is Esau, even by the so-called white people. Okay? They're savages. Because they see it right now, when they open their mouth and talk, especially if they have a business or they have something to lose, they've seen the result, okay? They've lost their businesses, wound up losing sponsorship. Other white businesses don't disassociate themselves, okay, because they don't want to be part of that. They pretend to have this, we believe in everything and all-inclusive. Why? Because so-called Negroes have money to spend, okay? So at the end of the day, they don't care. That's why you see they integrate hip-hop music inside, you know, it's featured heavily in a lot of doggone movies nowadays. Now you don't see no so-called white people soundtrack in these movies now. It's hip-hop, and it's like, what the hell? What the hell? You know, you used to see hip-hop music in movies that Jason produced. Now you see it in just about every doggone thing, even in Disney movies. End credits will have a hip-hop music playing, or they have hip-hop. Everything is like cool. Everything is fashioned to imitate Jake's, because Jake is what? Cool. But imagine a set of people that have that hatred in you, pent up, and now they have that opportunity to live it out. Our people are unprepared for it. Our people are unprepared for it because our people are ignorant. In fact, let me close out with this. Or how you can tell our people are ill-prepared for this. Let's go in Proverbs. It says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. How is he going to do that? Through the prophets. Through the prophets. Okay? Through the prophets. We're not holding back the words of Yahweh Shema Shai. Brothers and all alike, whatever rank you are, from the apostles all the way down, we look right into the camera and we say it exactly the way it is written here. Don't sugarcoat it. He said, because I have called and you refuse, and I stretched my hand and no man regarded. I watch brothers' videos, and I'm talking about brothers that are deep. They got a bigger portion than I did off this. They've been out there a hell of a lot longer. And nobody even come up to them and even inquire. Unbelievable. The lack of respect that these people have for the men of the Lord is unbelievable. How they just can look at you is just nothing. Brothers stand out throughout the weekdays, but particularly on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, on various parts of Great Babylon, America, busiest parts. Put the signs out there, and you would think somebody would be curious, but they're not. It says, but you have said not my counsel and none of my reproof. We're not important. We're not important. I don't have a table out here with cookies and sodas and bottled water and a sign that says get a free t-shirt or get a free mini Bible. None of those stuff. I certainly still don't have a megaphone. We ain't trying to recruit. The Lord does recruiting. We're not here to recruit. Okay? We have a message where it says, but you have said it not all my counsel and none of my reproof. Instead, you want to go make TikTok rebuttal videos. Call us a cult. When it's plain as daylight. This place is at the end. You're the target for the hatred of these people. It's written in the scripture. You're still looking at the doggone jury system, at their justice system. You still have your hope from the 60s that we should overcome bullshit in your head. Not understanding our salvation comes from the Mashiach. He says, when your fear cometh, he goes, I will laugh when your calamity, I will mock when your fear cometh. Maybe we're going to be saying, suits you right. We're not going to feel pity for kids, babies, nigger bitches, niggers. And that includes you doggone so-called Latinos, Hispanic, and Native Americans. Mainly you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Hispanics. Okay? Told you. When your fear coming as a desolation, your destruction coming as a whirlwind. When these Edomites that we've come out many times, put videos out there, painstakingly going through and find the clips and those things like that. And I think it was even the elder apostle Ramla said about it, when your video get clipped, you feel some way about it, man. Because you put a lot of work. You might see like a 20-minute video or a 10-minute video, but 2-3 hours went into putting that together. You might see an hour video, and hours went into put into that. Whether you physically was working on getting the material to show the clips and do that, and when you look at certain brothers build videos, we make it work through very seamlessly, you know, almost like you're watching a movie. So we put those things in there. You have to gather those, you have to edit out piece of it like that, you have to edit the clip to make it look presentable, okay? Get the scriptures that's appropriate for it, you know. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and this is just the work itself to put it together. Not to mention you thinking about it leading up to that, how you are going to execute and do this. Okay, is the Spirit coming on you? Then you're going to review it afterward to make sure that it makes sense. Okay, is there a mistake? Did I read a scripture incorrectly? You know, did I copy and paste something in there incorrectly? You know, duplicated some things like that. These are the things in there. So there's a lot of work. You see, what you see is a 15 to 20 minute video, but you don't understand the work that goes into it, and nor do you care. And I'm talking about those who are watching it who are looking for amusement or hoping to come across a video that's going to make them laugh and they can enjoy themselves or whatever the case is like that. Okay, it has no value to you because you're a bum, moronic shitbag that doesn't do anything. The Lord didn't choose you to go labor for Him. You're a piece of shit. But right here, He laughs at you. Who's going to laugh at you too? Us. Okay? We're not laboring in vain. It says, when distress and anguish coming upon you. Now, you can have these doggone. There's a lot. I put up that video many times. Okay? There are a lot of these secret groups, these white boys that are training with guns and hand-to-hand combat, especially here in Texas or in these Bible Belt states, okay? And they're waiting. And when the time comes, they're going to be ruthless, okay, in their purging of so-called Negroes and Latinos and Hispanics, okay? They're going to rape the women, rape the kids, beat them, kill them, and the men definitely going to get put down quick. They're not going to be wasting time to try to go in hand-to-hand combat with your ass and shit. They just put the man down. And the woman, if she looks good enough for that, they're going to go rape her and the kids, okay? And then they're going to kill them. This is what's going to happen. Okay, when that starts happening, when you are unable to go into the grocery stores, when you can't go nowhere or even step out your house because you're surrounded by enemies, then you know that you are a prophet among you, okay? It says, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. All judgment coming from the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. The Lord right now is preparing these racist doggone crackers to go out there and do exactly what He said He's going to do to Jakes. Wipe out 2/3 of our people. Wipe out the rebellions. Okay? Teach your ass a damn lesson. Through what? Pain. And He's preparing these Edomites. He's having them, He's blocking them from doing it right now. Because without the man, He has His men out the highway and the byway doing the work. But at some point in time, and it's quicker than y'all Jakes believe, okay? The Lord is going to shut our mouths. He's going to make it so that Esau is going to take down our videos, make preaching on the internet a federal crime, and then make preaching on the street of state or federal crime. Okay? So we're going to be shut down. In some cases, some of us are going to be persecuted or prosecuted. And so you're not going to have anyone to go and talk to or look for counsel. Okay? As you're running for your life, wondering what the hell happened. How are you going to get out of it? There's no way out of it. Once the Lord seals you left, Deuteronomy 30:7 is really going to magnify. And Deuteronomy 28 is going to magnify even more too. Because He's not going to hold back. And you know the thing about it, we can know the judgment is happening to your ass. And all we can do is just laugh, 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 and give glory and honor to Yahweh Shemashai. okay, for delivering exactly what he said he's going to deliver, okay, which is that judgment, okay. So, again, 4th of July weekend, people are still out there partying. They're going to finish off with their fireworks tonight probably. I think some companies are going to be closed tomorrow. So people are going to, just finish off their usual shift. And it's just another day, another year to them. Business as usual for many of these people because the impact of poverty, okay, and dire needs, but the inability to get it has not hit a lot of people. Despite the fact they raised the gas to $5 a gallon, now it's now 3 something. These people don't stop driving around. They're just driving around endlessly. Just driving around, going nowhere. Just to drive around. Okay? Because why? Their lives are empty. They don't really have any particular thing to do in life. They're not messengers of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. So their lives are empty. And when the murder's gone and the people around you are gone from around you because they're disheveled and mentally disturbed and just don't want to deal with nobody, all people are going to find themselves by themselves. Of course, there's a scripture that talks about that. A man desiring to see another person, okay? Because everybody's going to start to isolate themselves, okay? But in the meantime, servants of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, servants of Yahweh Shai, is going to be joyous, eating, and being merry, knowing that our Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, is taking care of us. So with that, I'm going to give all glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakadash. Shalom to the hopefully that, Lord willing, you are edified.